Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a floral key. We're going to be showing you step by step how to do it from start to finish. It should be a fun project for Valentine's Day, hopefully. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to chat during our live show today, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, we're going to be using a 9 by 12 inch canvas today. It's a Fredrix canvas. Ooh, got paint dabs all over. Belgian linen canvas from Fredrix. Thank you to them for providing our canvas tonight. We're streaming from Crowdcast, and we're going to hopefully upload it to YouTube as long as our recording works. We're having trouble connecting to YouTube for some reason the last couple nights, so still didn't work again tonight. We were hoping it was just a temporary internet thing, but I have no idea what the problem is, so fingers crossed we'll get that figured out soon, because that's kind of a pain. And so thank you to those who came over to Crowdcast to watch with us, and those who are watching the replay on YouTube, you'll have no idea what we're talking about, so just ignore that whole first part. All right, let's get going here. I'm going to be using a number 6 Filbert, number 3/8 and 1/4 inch angle brush. I've got a few different rounds, 1, 2, and 4 round brushes in the Velvet Touch line. I'm not sure I'm going to need all those, but I've just got them just in case. And I've also got a few kind of scruffy brushes for the background. So I've got a fan brush because, of course, we're going to need to do some splattering. And then I've got a 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch Velvet Touch Willows blenders. And in the Select line, these are all Princeton brushes. Deerfoot Stippler and a round blender, number 12 and 5/8 inch. And then I've also got a large number 1 inch oval mop and a couple of Filberts for the background. So I've got a number 8 and a number 4 Filbert in their 6100 series. So and if you want to, you can do your backgrounds with the little foam daubers. I think I decided I'm not going to. I don't know. I'm going to have them just in case. If you've got them, you might do your background with those. You can also use like a blending sponge or something like that also. All right. I'm going to also probably want to have a ruler just for the key part. We do the key. How are we doing, hon?
Great.
Okay, very good. Hi, everybody. Thanks, like I said, thanks for joining us over here on Crowdcast. Those of you who are bravely venturing over, hopefully it'll work out okay. I'm glad we had Crowdcast as a backup. If YouTube continues to be a problem, we may be on here on Saturday too. We'll see. Hopefully not, because Saturdays Mark's going to be painting with me, so we want it to go well. Let's go over our colors really quick. I've got burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone burnt orange, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow light, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue green shade, cobalt teal, phthalo green yellow shade. This is unbleached titanium, titanium white, zinc white, and this is, woo, stuck my finger in it, glazing medium, glazing liquid right here. You may not have all these colors, that's fine. Just use what you've got that's similar, and I may not even use all of them. I don't know. I just kind of, I don't paint these ahead of time. I just paint them with you live, so we kind of figure it out as we go along. You're also going to want a spray bottle of some sort just to spritz your canvas and your paints as we paint here. So I just did one good spray on my canvas here, and then that is why you also are going to want your glazing medium, because the glazing medium will help these paints to stick, because that water can kind of dilute your paints a little bit. So I'm going to start with my largest Filbert here, and I'm actually going to just put the paint straight onto the canvas in some places here. Maybe a couple over here. And I'm just going to blend it as we go. And add a little bit of the colors from these are all the colors that I've already have on my palette. So I'm using Cobalt Teal here yellow, cadmium yellow light. You could use cadmium yellow medium if you don't have a light version, that's fine. And then I'm going to use a lot of the unbleached titanium, I think, for our base color. Just to kind of help everything kind of blend in together. All right, so those will be our sort of starting colors. And I'm probably going to need more yellow. I probably didn't put out enough, but we'll see. So I'm going to wet down my brush a little bit. I'm going to start with my lighter colors. And I'm going to start just kind of smushing those around first, getting into those whites. And then start to kind of smush in and get my teal. And those greens. And then I'm going to just let this be real sloppy. I'm not going to, like I said, I debated doing the circles things, you know, and getting out my little sponges and doing little circles. I've got several videos where I do that kind of bokeh effect with the circles. So I thought we'd do something different tonight and just kind of do some real random kind of squiggly background with some juicier paint, a little bit smushier and more paint on the brush here. And you notice I'm kind of leaving this upper corner a little bit more loose, or a little bit more, am I saying blank? Because we don't want it quite as dark up here. I'm going to push my mic out of the way just a second. So if I go a little bit lighter, that's why. I'm going to get some of this glazy medium. I forgot to get it on my brush. I'm just going to smush it in a few places over here where my paint is. And you can see how little of the actual darker colors we needed there. That yellow is already kind of just eclipsed by all these other colors. So what I'm going to do, now that I've got all of these on here, so I'm going to grab an old paper towel. Just grab one that's already dirty. It's fine. As long as it doesn't have like fresh paint on it, it'll be fine. And I'm just going to wet it down just a little bit. And dab. And we're just going to create some interesting patterns this way. I can kind of use it to smoosh. And I'm going to keep kind of turning it so I get a kind of a fresh spot every now and then. And we're going to get some interesting patterns happening. If I put my paint on here thick enough, which I definitely did, it's really thick, it's moving around on me. Sometimes I may even go all the way down to the white canvas, and that's fine because we can always add more paint later, so don't be afraid of taking off too much paint. Here, look how nicely that blends. And then it kind of leaves these really interesting, like little wispy marks. This is where I'm saying also that if you wanted to, you could grab kind of a dampish sponge and use it in place of your paper towel. You can see the spots where we started out with that color, and they are really blending nicely. Some really pretty patterns here. I'm just going to kind of let it dab and make all these kind of really interesting shapes. All right, how's everybody doing? Did we all kind of make it over here to Crowdcast okay? Have a smaller than normal crew? Most people?
No, it works when I turn my mic on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got about 100 people with us.
Well, that's not bad.
I'm still seeing people popping in and over on the YouTube, so I'm
Hopefully.
sending them this way.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I don't know what is up with YouTube. It's really frustrating. All right, so now I'm going to grab some of my yellow oxide with my white here. I haven't cleaned out my big brush, so it's still got all these colors on it. And I'm just going to, I tossed that paper towel because it was really kind of dirty. And now I'm just going to dab some of these colors around here. What are you laughing at?
So, crowd cats is not a thing. I think it's crowdcast. I got a little autocorrect.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Over on your YouTube chat, I'm telling people we're on a crowdcast, but it put crowd cats.
It's autocorrecting to crowd cats. Yeah. That's hilarious. No, not crowd cats. Probably doesn't want you to know about YouTube. Probably doesn't want you to know about crowdcast. It's probably doing that on purpose. Oh, what? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Who's that? All right, so just kind of playing now, adding some other colors in here in little places. Really, you could do this background any colors you wanted to. I'm going to grab the blues now, add some darker greens. So I grabbed the phthalo blue and phthalo green there. I'm just kind of throwing in these kind of vague, random leafy shapes. So just this Filbert brush makes it really easy to get these kind of leafy shapes. Sort of just setting my brush down and kind of sweeping it to the side here and there. Okay. The nice thing about Crowdcast, actually, that you'll notice at the very bottom, there is, I'm talking to the folks watching on Crowdcast, not YouTube folks, so sorry. But the folks watching with us live tonight, if you have a question, there is actually a section on Crowdcast down at the very bottom that allows you to ask a question. So you can put your question down there and make sure that we see it, so we don't miss it in the chat window. Flying by, sometimes it goes pretty fast. All right, so mixing some white, got a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta and some of the yellow, just in cadmium yellow. I don't know why I started saying Indian yellow, sorry. And I'm gonna put some pink dabs up in here. Careful going over this green, you don't want to blend. So I'm literally just dabbing and lifting. I'm not blending any of this into that green, because otherwise you're going to end up with a muddy mess, because that red and green are opposite on the color wheel. So this magenta mixed with the green is going to make a brownish color or something like that. So I'm just making a kind of a salmony pink color. And the reason I didn't add it at the very beginning is because I wanted colors that were going to blend really well. So that's why I used the yellows and greens and at the very beginning. And that's why I'm saving this pink to put on now over the top of this color that's starting to set up and dry. It's not quite dried, but it's getting there. Okay, so this is a totally different look from the picture. If you really love that bokeh effect in the picture, just grab yourself these little paint daubers. At this point, let this dry completely, and then you can go to town with these little paint daubers and do some transparent yellows and whites and different colors, pinks and things with the paint daubers in different sizes. I've got lots of videos out there that show how to do the bokeh effect. So I'm going to grab some of the orange, Quinacridone orange, and some, I got a little bit of that yellow, but it's not tinting it too much. Mostly wanting to get a little bit of that pink in there with it. And then I'm going to mix in the white. Ooh, that makes a really pretty kind of reddish orange color. Look how pretty that is. Kind of a watermelon color. So I'm going to add some of that in there too. How you doing, hon? Being very quiet tonight.
I'm still chatting with people over on YouTube.
Oh.
Trying to get them, helping them to get over here.
Awesome. Well, that's a good
So
plan.
I'm completely ignoring anybody that's trying to ask questions or do anything. It's like once you're, like Dish Network, well, once you're part of their group, they're not going to offer you any specials. They don't care about you. You got to pay full price. Oh, wait, somebody's got a question.
Okay.
Ask a question. Okay, they asked, should we dry it first?
Dry it first before you do the paint daubers. Yes. Yeah. So dry it in between. Like do your background pretty much the same way that we did it. It's fine. Let it dry completely, and then do your paint daubers. At this point is where I would kind of transition into that. I am going to just put in some brighter yellow areas here. Trying to get it to stick over the top of this. We'll see. It may be too dry yet, or too. If it's starting to dry, you'll be able to tell because it'll lift instead of lay down fresh paint. It'll just start to lift off the old color. So it's doing all right. And so back in here where we're going to have these flower blossoms, I'm going to just do a bunch of little random dabs. And I'm kind of just looking for spaces in between that may need a little pop of color. I don't really have a whole lot of, I'm not necessarily going along with the actual photo, so don't worry if it's a little bit different from the photo. Just kind of do what feels right to you. This is the fun of doing this kind of painting there. Just make sure you've got some dark and lighter areas. That's mainly the thing. And I may add some darker later because I know in my reference photo I've got some dark down here and over here, but I'm going to let it dry first because I don't think it's going to take a whole lot more paint than this. So we'll work on this area up here, put in some branches, and then we might have time to add some more of the dark before we do our flowers. So I'm going to add the branches with burnt umber with some Quinacridone Magenta, maybe add a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue to make it a little bit more purpley colored. And right about just below halfway here, I'm going to do a branch kind of going up and off, and I'm just using this 5/8 inch angle brush. And going in this wet paint is actually kind of nice because it's mixing a little bit, it's softening up that color a little bit. So I definitely like doing it while it's still a little bit damp. I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth and attach it there to that branch. And then just kind of softly blend them where they meet. And just throw some small What's the matter?
No, keep going.
Okay, well, you're sighing.
I know.
Okay.
That's what I do.
All right, so kind of like that. That's pretty much all we need to do with our branches. And then I'm going to take it and make some random dots kind of in and around there, just sort of in where my flowers are, just using the very tip of the brush pointed straight down. And just did a few little dots there. Okay. Getting some of the phthalo green and some burnt sienna. I'll make a dark green here. I'd add a little bit of the yellow. Ooh, look at that pretty. That's really nice. So phthalo green, a little bit of the yellow, and I'm just going to make some leaves with this green. And I'm going to set my brush down and just kind of smush it and then lift. Set my brush down, smush it, and lift. Those will make nice, easy leaves for us. This is definitely on the easier side. I'm simplifying this so to make it easy for beginners. So
You mean we couldn't have done this one Saturday?
what? Yeah,
This
probably.
painting? Yeah, we probably could have done this easy one, huh?
The swan is going to be easy, honey.
Mm-hmm.
To be okay.
I think I remember hearing you on
I'll
a
guide
video
you
or two
through it
saying
step
that
by
you
What?
save your most difficult ones for Saturdays. I think I've heard you say that.
I usually do, but not in this
Mhm.
case.
Right. I don't know if I believe you. Can you
Yeah,
be
my goal
trusted?
is just to embarrass you. That's
Oh, I
that's the
know.
whole goal.
I
It's
know.
like, what's the most
So
difficult
see.
painting that I can show just how little Mark knows about painting? Let's do that one.
Look, everybody. Look how awesome I am and how stinky he is.
Exactly. That's my goal.
How do you like me now?
I don't want to hear any more about it. You can do it.
Oh, people haven't played board games with you. They don't know the half of it.
Okay. This is my job.
Yes, it is.
All right. I am going to use Ultramarine Blue and some burnt umber here to make a gray. I'm going a little bit on the blue side. And then I'm going to use it with the white. Create a off-white. I might even use it with a little bit of that unbleached titanium. There we go. So this is going to be kind of some of our base flower petals, and they're going to be kind of in the shadow in the very back. We should just barely be able to see them over the top of the other colors that we've got going on here. So I'm just going to, you can see I kind of just randomly went through here. I added a little bit more yellow to it and some white and did some lighter leaves. Most of the leaves are going to be covered up. So this is just to have some peeking through in between our flowers. So, and I'm going to cover a lot of the flower or the actual stem up as well. Okay. And it's going to go real fast. So I'm just looking at my photograph and I'm just seeing where my main flowers clusters are, and that's where I did those gray kind of flowers in and around that area. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab some of this pink from our stems, if we can get a little bit of it. Not a lot, just a little bit, just enough to sort of tint our flower blossoms. And now I'm going to start to really kind of think about where I want to place these. So I've got mostly white here, just a tiny bit of this same purple that we used on our stems, and I'm going to start setting my brush down and pulling it towards the center of my branches, creating some flower blossoms. And they don't all have to come straight into the center. Some of them can be just random, but there's a few of them that are going to be full on. You're going to see all of the blossoms. So and these Filbert brushes, I've switched to a little bit larger Filbert here. So got the number 4 Filbert here. And just going to leave some of these colors in the background peeking through. I might add just a little bit of that gray to this pink as well. So maybe do some of these in the background, kind kind of add to the ones that are kind of in that background area. And then
Okay.
these brighter white ones on top. Yep.
We got a couple questions here.
Okay.
Somebody asked, do you have any problem seeing / mixing one color more than another? They said that greens give them fits.
Really?
Yep.
I think that's pretty normal to have certain colors that are harder than others, you know, to kind of see. I don't know off the top of my head any that I particularly have trouble with. No, trying to think. Sometimes when I'm looking at like a teal color, like a green, it's harder for me to tell if it's closer to blue or closer to green, unless I see it against another color. So,
real quick, can you slow down you doing those strokes so that they can see them also? Slow.
okay. It's actually a little bit easier to do it if you're doing it faster. That's why I'm kind of working fast, but just because they come out a little bit more natural if you don't overthink it and overplace them. But I guess maybe that comes with experience too. So, all right. So setting it down and pulling it in. So just setting the tip down and pulling, just like we did the leaves. That one didn't really turn out very good.
And for me, they don't have to look perfect because,
Right.
you know, at any 1 second in time, they're changing shape and direction because of wind and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's why I tend to just kind of go quickly, because as long as you're using the Filbert brush, pull from the outside towards the inside of the flower so that you're getting the shaped petals. Sometimes, let me just do it on paper to maybe make it a little bit easier to see if I break it down that way.
break it down.
Break it down. Hammer time.
Real quick, somebody asked for a substitute for unbleached titanium, which is yellow oxide, white, and a little bit of burnt umber.
On there, if you will mark where you've said that, when you said start answering question, and then mark the end. You see where it's saying?
No, I don't see where that
You should be locked in as me, so you got to use it on that.
Oh, I got to do it over here.
Mm-hmm. So when you answer the question, you click on start answering, and then you click on finished, and that way people can find where it's answered in the actual video.
Okay.
Okay, so using the Filbert, there's a few different brush strokes. So I was doing the leaf stroke before. I was kind of using the tip and smushing it like that. So that's a way to do the petals. On these ones, I'm kind of doing the opposite. I'm kind of setting it down and pulling it like this. Smushing it down. I don't know how many petals are in these. I probably should know that. Probably 5 and not 6, but you get the idea. And so I'm going around and I'm doing kind of partial ones. So I'm setting it down and kind of using the edge of my brush instead of the full flat edge, so I can get different sized. So these ones that are kind of setting and looking up this way instead of straight at us will have this kind of more of a cup shape. So I would do like a full petal on the back end, and then do the side petals kind of more flat, and then do one in the front kind of like that to finish it off, and that'll make it look like it's kind of looking that way. And then I just kind of do a combination of these all in different directions. I'm turning my brush in different directions and doing some that are just little random dots, and then, you know, some of these are more connected and more finished on top. And then these ones in the background that I'm doing are just kind of you know, random shapes and things. When I was doing the leaves, I was doing them kind of like on their edge, like this. And my paint's getting dry, but you get the idea. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what's going on here a little bit. I know I did kind of go fast over a lot of it, but it does kind of go, it looks a little bit more natural if you don't overthink where you're placing the petals and just kind of turn your brush and sort of randomly place them, at least at first, you know. And then the last few that you're doing on top, you definitely do want to slow down and really think it through and place them carefully. But those first few ones, you can kind of, especially the very background ones, you can really just be random about it. So now I'm going to go in with straight white, no other colors mixed in, and highlight some of these blossoms that are in front. Doing okay? Did that help?
Sure.
Okay.
We still got 70 people over on YouTube waiting.
Oh no.
I keep posting the link and saying, hey, join us above.
Like it's not going to happen over there, guys. Sorry.
But we
Did you
will-
put technical difficulties on the thing? Like, did you mark the... There's a way to put a message on the screen. So that's probably what you need to do, because they may not be having the chat window open.
Oh, well, I can't do that from my thing. I could do it from yours, but I'm not going to jump over there.
Okay.
I guess I could. How do
Yeah.
I put technical
You
difficulty?
still have it open,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, just put streaming now on Crowdcast, having, you know, because due to technical difficulties, please join us. Link in the chat or something like that.
I don't see where to do that. You do this all the time. I've never done it, so I don't need the sigh.
Okay. Can't paint it and do it at the same time. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. I've never done it before, so.
Let me see. Go to the YouTube. Edit, maybe? I'm not sure if it'll let you do it from edit. No, X out. See if it'll let you go to the old, tags. Use the YouTube Studio right there. There you go. No, go to more options maybe. No.
Okay,
It's the old Creator Classic. That's it. Creator Studio Classic right there. Just hit skip. Oops. Okay. Well, I guess it's going to make you select something. Just click one of those. Okay. There we go. Go to Live Control Room. Oh, it's taking you to the new one. I don't know. I don't know from the new one how to do it. No, the old one you could go to Manage. I don't know. The old one you can go to Manage right there. See if it'll let you do something from there. I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll leave it.
Used to let you do a broadcast thing, and it would show up on the thing. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So that actually was good because it let my paints dry a little bit. I didn't want to mess with them while they were too wet. So let me actually switch to a little bit smaller brush here. I'm going to get some of this green and some of the yellows. I got a little bit of both yellows here. I want it fairly dark though, so I'm going to see if I can get some of that green that I mixed from before. Add that a little bit of it into that. And I'm just going to dab in centers of the whichever ones that kind of look like they're facing me. So if I see any that sort of look like they might have a center facing out. Just a few of them. Okay. And really there's supposed to be more in this little area right in here clustered together. So I need to add some more of these white ones kind of overlapping each other all in here. Okay. All right. Tummy's grumbling there, hon.
He's saying thank you
For
the cheese and crackers.
all right, getting
the
some
decorate.
yellow here, and I'm just gonna do some little sticks out, stamen out of these little flower buds here. So just gonna find those green centers and do some of this color. It's just a little bit of yellow mixed with my whites here. And these are just kind of going off. The ones that are kind of looking straight at us, you can do them all kind of in all directions out from the center. And then some of them are kind of, if they're leaning a little bit, like this one looks like it's kind of leaning this way a little bit. You can just do them sort of upward. And just a few little flower centers. And then I'm going to use this color here on my brush. This is that, I don't even know what color I mixed for it. Now it's been too long. I think it's just the Quinacridones. Okay, the Quinacridone Magenta and Quinacridone Burnt Orange. And going to dab centers. What?
Somebody had asked earlier. No, I don't find the question. Oh, what colors did she just blend for the background flowers? So that was a while ago.
That was they were white, white and ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt umber. So I mixed a gray, and then I added some of the purple from the stems that were the quinacridone mixed with those two colors, the burnt umber and burnt sienna, or burnt umber and ultramarine blue. I mean.
Okay, and then somebody wants to know, where can they get a mister like that? And I think they mean the spray bottle, not me.
He's mine. Back off.
You can usually find them at McDonald's.
They have. That's where I found mine, right? 30 years ago.
Yep.
30 plus. Which Valentine's will this be? 30?
That'll be 34.
Whoa. 34 Valentines together. So that's pretty special.
So anyways, back to the spray bottle.
Amazon. I got mine off of Amazon. And there's one in my store. So obviously this video is not going to have the link to it. But any of my videos on YouTube, it's amazon.com/shop/Angela Fine Art, I think that's the name. And sadly, you can't just go to Amazon and search Angela Anderson. It will not pop up. You have to know the direct link.
Right, in any of the YouTube videos of yours, there's the Amazon affiliate link there.
Right, right.
Click there.
Yes, it will.
Voila.
With a W.
With a W.
Drives me crazy when I see that. Sorry. I'm sorry if you spell voila wrong.
W-A-L.
I mock you in my brain. when I do that.
W-A-A space L-A. Voila.
No, I usually see it like voila, like Wally, but voila.
Oh, okay.
That's how I see it spelled a lot. It's
Yeah, and Angela got one of those
Long.
misters for her hair also.
I did.
She liked it so much for painting, she got one for her head. Go figure.
I did. It's nice because it doesn't weigh down. It's a fine mister. It's actually meant for hair. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use that.
Stop talking about me like that.
Okay, using a little bit. Just using the tip of the brush here and dabbing a little bit of yellow in with this little yellow centers in my flowers there. I started with the burgundy color. These are not one to show up all that well, so if you need to, you can do some of those stamen with the yellowish color to make them show up a little bit better. Go back in and add some darker centers again if we lost those. Some of mine look like they lost the dark green in the centers. Okay. This is very, very impressionistic. It's not supposed to, I'm not trying to make it look realistic here at all. So if I was, I would kind of approach it a little bit differently maybe, but this is just to keep it real easy and simple. And I'm going to probably do whole nother layer of white on top of these here in a minute, but I think right now I'm going to splatter. Well, now I can wait to splatter at the very last. Okay, so Mark just left. I was going to have him take this and dry it, so he's not here. I'm not sure where he would do. This background is dry. Just need to make sure that this area right here is dry because I need to draw my key right in here, and it's going to span this whole area right here. Go right over the top of those flowers. If you've got some favorite flowers, you can shift it over. Just make sure you've got a branch above it to kind of attach it to. I just need this little bit dried right here, hon. Just right where the key is going to be. All right, I'm going to clean my hands here real quick. So for those of you who are not familiar with what we do over here on Crowdcast, the Crowdcast, I normally do my Patreon videos, which are my paid videos. I have one a week that I do with my $10 level group. And then if you pay $5, you get one extra bonus video a month. And that also includes, both levels also include traceables and reference photos. And then, of course, the traceable level, if you just want traceables, is $2, and you don't get access to any of the bonus videos. But those levels also, it's nice because you can watch any of the older videos as well as the current month's videos. And I've been doing it for 3 years now, so there's quite a library of videos available from previous years and months. So the ones that we're going to be starting, you can see if you go to my homepage here on Crowdcast, you just click on my name there and it'll take you to my, well, look at my nail polish got all messed up. And you can see up there where all the previous year or previous months of videos. We've only been doing it on Crowdcast for a few months now. It's not been a full year, but I really do like their format. They're set up for live streaming, and it's made the Patreon stuff go a lot more smoothly than it did on YouTube. So if you want to see what we've been up to, you can check out those older videos.
What do you think?
Very good, thank you.
Give it a try.
I think it's perfect. Okay. So I'm going to fit my key right in here. I'm going to go. And I'm just using chalk. Ooh, that is just taking that paint right off. That paint's warm. I should have had you hit it with the cool.
It was on cool setting.
It was? Okay.
So I think it was.
All right, so just draw your heart however big you want the top of that key to be. Straight line down, and then at the very bottom there's just a little L-shaped fitting area, and then right up under here there's some lines, a couple lines there, and at the very top of the heart there's a little arch, and you'll be able to see it better when we paint it in. But all right, so our reference photo, the key was kind of brassy, so I'm going to go back to that. I filtered it to give the background some more color, and it kind of changed the color of the key too, which I didn't necessarily want to happen, but really nothing a whole lot I can do about it. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue to my burnt umber and burnt sienna here. A little bit of ultramarine blue. And I've got this unbleached titanium too. And if you want it more brassy, you can add a little bit of yellow even to it. It'll yellow it up. And that'll kind of give you that kind of brass color for our key. Let's go ahead and start at the heart itself, and that way we can get that figured out. I'm going to do the outline, and then I'm just going to come on to the inside of it because I think that's plenty wide. And just widening it up a little bit. Where'd you disappear to?
Do you want to know?
No, I guess not.
Okay.
I thought you were doing something.
Technically, I was.
Okay. Your tummy's being awfully loud. It's happy. It's singing to us.
It's thankful for the daiquiri too.
Mm. It's a work night, hon.
Exactly. What are you getting at?
Nothing.
Our garden planner has shipped.
Ooh. We're going to have so many good garden gadgets. We better have the best garden
And
ever.
we'll get like one tomato and a squash.
And kind of like how, yeah, our last couple of years on gardening. So we get to be about June and we're like, why did we do this? It's so hot. I don't want to go outside and pick worms off my tomatoes. I don't care. They can have them. That's pretty much how it goes in our garden. Poor things.
So we raise plants in our plant hospice facility here.
Right. Now, this may not cover in one coat. This is not one to cover in one coat. So that's fine. I just need to do as much as I can, get it as good as I can, and then we can give it a second coat here. And if you need to, you can use your ruler here for this part. I'm living dangerously here. A little crooked there. I'm not sure how that happened. Straighten that out a little bit. Yeah, that's real crooked. Wow. Okay. I shouldn't have done it sideways. So I'm gonna
Did you have any of my drink?
counteract. No, I'm
Okay.
fine. You know me. All right, that looks a little bit better. Then coming up just a little bit from the bottom here. And I want that bottom of the key to be kind of flat, so I'm just going to try to square that off a little bit. It's slightly rounded. The bottom of it is slightly rounded, but it's not as round as I had it there. Okay. Oh, it's cute. Okay, so just come up a little bit and do sort of a little part here. You're going to have it come out a little bit right there. Kind of a square or rectangle shape right there. And then come above it all the way out. Even. That looks, it looks more crooked this when it's leaning down than it does. It's not as crooked as it looks right there. And then another little rectangle here on the end. I'm trying to keep these kind of squared off as much as I can. There we go, kind of like that. Alright, I'm gonna get some gold. Use that for the rope. So I'm just gonna use go up there and do kind of a little knot right here. Just a couple lines, another one this direction. So having them, and I'm just going right up into that blossom, letting it disappear up into there. And then I'm going to use some of this dark color kind of on the tip of this and sort of do it at a diagonal in that rope area. Alright, let's grab some of this unbleached titanium now. And I'm going to go right in the middle of what I just did. And dry brush. Leaving a little bit of color along the outside. So very little paint on my brush here, and I'm just kind of skimming this color. It's just a couple shades lighter than what I've just done. I might even add just a little bit more of that yellow to it. And this doesn't have to look really smooth because this is supposed to be kind of an antique key, so it can be kind of, you know, pitted and such. Oh, I forgot to do my little side pieces here. Let me do those. So right up under here, there's a area where it goes across. And then right below it, another one. There we go. that lighter color again. Now on this part, I'm going to kind of do it right in the middle here and try to make it look kind of rounded. And then right at the middle part of that part that's sticking up right there. Leave a little shadow right there. Okay, I'm going to get that dark brown now. Get a little bit of blue. So we've got kind of a dark gray. I'm going to go right up underneath. Right there. Make a nice dark shadow. And then I'm going to do the same thing here on the key. I'm going to kind of just go on these all along this side and along the edge. So bottom and this side. And just kind of outline everything a little bit.
Just to remind everybody that the traceables will be available on patreon.com
Yep. Probably tomorrow.
/ Angela Fine Art. But if it's like the year 2024, then it's not tomorrow. It was like a few years ago. So whenever you're watching this,
Right.
go there.
Relatively.
Exactly. There's at least 2,300 people who have access to it right now, or tomorrow, or whenever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. Thank you so much for your support.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, getting some of this yellow here. I'm just going to highlight that rope a little bit. And then I'm going to use that same color to highlight on the key again. I kind of got over the middle of this one a little bit too much right there. So. And use some of that brighter white. Oh, I did put out some more white. I have no idea which white is what. Here. I've got like 3 whites in here. One of them's Zinc White. I think that's the one in the middle. Alright, so adding a little bit of the white to that yellow color that I was just using on the rope. In fact, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush so it'll make this easier. This is number 2. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of adding a few little random highlights here and there with this brighter color. Just to bring out the color in that key. And then I'm gonna let that set and dry a bit, and then I might glaze just a little bit on it because I feel like it's a little, well, actually I'm gonna get some of that brown that was the original color and just kind of go to one side here. Kind of soften it up a little bit. I kind of got a little happy with my highlighting. Just putting a little bit of this color back in. Leaving it right in the middle. cute. All right, let's grab a little bit of green and yellow and a bit of the burnt sienna to tone it down. That all that does is just kind of, it's got a little bit of reddish tone into it, so it counteracts that real green color in there, bright green, and it makes it a little bit more neutral. So I'm gonna use that and just put in some leaf shapes that are kind of over the top of things. Just a few of them. Okay. Did we catch the people over on YouTube at all, or did they just give up and leave?
It still shows 64 waiting.
Oh, no.
I've been chatting with a couple.
Okay. They're not willing to come over to Crowdcast?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, they may not have their chat open or what. I don't know.
Okay.
They won't tell me who they are, so I can't go knock on their door.
That would be scary.
I would tap on their window first.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
That's
saying.
not creepy.
That's not creepy.
All right, so just going back in now and adding some white bits to our petals that are already out here. What?
Nothing. I'm being creepy.
Okay.
You're welcome. Are we done yet?
I don't know. You're
painting.
I am. Make sure that you may need to want to do this. I didn't wait. I probably could have done this in between when Mark dried it that first time before I did the key, like add your bright whites and then dry it again, and then, I just saved myself an extra step there. But now kind of painting around the key and the other little bits here. So gonna get some pink. Add some pink blossoms in here, just a few. They're really not a pink. These aren't necessarily the pink cherry blossoms, although you could do it in pink if you wanted to. But I am going to add just a hint of pink to some of these, just to give it another color going on in there. And we can do some out here too. Like some of them are falling down maybe. Or blowing. Looks like whoosh. I'm going to add just a few out this way to kind of pull the color story out a little bit farther this way. And kind of create a movement there. All right, I think that's it. Pretty happy with that. Let's splatter with some, let's do some zinc white here. Add some white to it. Or add some water, I mean, to it. Can add some yellow. Maybe a little bit of that pink. Kind of make a coral salmon-y color. That pink. Sort of like this color here. I'm going to add it to that white. Make a big old blob of pink. And add some white or some water to it to thin it out.
What size canvas are we doing here?
This is a 9x12.
9x12 canvas.
Yes. All of that information will be on the YouTube video. I didn't have time because we were rushing through tonight. I usually have the, description and the materials list listed, so it'll be in the description like normal. I just haven't gotten a chance to do it yet, so I'll add it to the Crowdcast. If you click on the title on Crowdcast, it'll drop down the description, so I'll have all that information pasted in there, and then it'll also be on the one on YouTube too.
Okay. And somebody also asked which way the light is coming from, which direction?
It looks like it's coming from this way, maybe, or well, actually, no, it would be coming from this way because this is the dark side over here, the dark side. So it's coming from this way.
And I may or may not have selected my nail polish color yet.
No comment. All right, I think that's it.
That's it?
Yep, we're done. I probably would let this dry completely and then maybe glaze over a little bit of gray into the flowers, but I'm not going to do that because it's late and it's going to take a while for all this stuff to dry. So maybe just glaze a little bit of the blue-gray into some of these flower centers to darken them up and bring them and give them a little bit more dimension. But honestly, they're pretty good the way they are too, just as is. So that's an optional thing up to you. All right. You could even glaze some pink over the top. You can see in the reference photo there, this one's down here, have some pink glaze. So like once you get this all done, you can just using glazing medium, lots of glazing medium, a little tiny bit of paint. You can tint these whatever color you wanted. You could add a little hint of blue, a little bit of gray, a little bit of yellow, whatever you wanted to do to them. It really kind of adds a little bit of dimension. But like I said, this is too wet right now to mess with it, so I'm not going to do it tonight. But you've seen me do it in the past, so hopefully, well, maybe you have. If you haven't, you can check out some of my other videos. I do glazing almost every week, so anyhow, so thanks for watching. Sorry for the technical issues. Fingers crossed we'll be on YouTube on Saturday, and if not, we will have a link to the Crowdcast, and we'll be doing it over here until we can figure out what the heck's going on with YouTube. So anyhow, thanks guys for watching with us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.